What is up? What is up? What is up, man? Today we got a special guest in the house. We've been trying to put this thing together for a little while, and we finally got it going. But y'all know how we do. You know how we do. We got to let a couple people get in here, and we're going to get it popping from there. Got Joe Barretto already in the building. John in the building. My other brother from another mother besides Caesar Joel. And yeah, man, this is a good one. We trying to line up the year with some special guests. Caesar Joel, who was just on the channel. Bobby then popped up in here. Yeah, we trying to finish off the year strong. We trying to finish off the year strong. Two legends, man. No, man. I ain't the legend, man. I got the legend is a guest. The legend is a guest. You was a legend. Caesar, you are a legend. Joe is a legend. John's a legend. My boy K is in the building. What is up? What is up? Yeah, we're going to give the guests a little bit of time to get in here. Joshua's in the building. Yo. Yeah, like I said, we trying to finish the year up strong, man. I got next week, we got Fact Stacks Academy. We got Fat Stacks Academy next Monday. Tonight I ain't gonna try to keep y'all in there. I know y'all want to watch Monday Night Football, so I ain't gonna keep y'all in here forever. But you know how we do it. As long as the questions coming in from the chat, I get through all my questions and the guest is ready. Then we all good. Johnny's in the building. Johnny is in the building. But yeah, I got next month in no particular order. Well, next week I got Fat Stacks Academy next Monday. I have Calby Ng coming up. I have Anthony Venture coming up, and I'm in contract negotiations with a couple other YouTubers. I'm in contract negotiations with a couple other YouTubers. But I'm trying to fill 2 more spots to end the year out. So right now, we almost to the end of November. So like I say, to end out this month, I got today's guest. I got Fat Stacks Academy. That'll be the entire November. Next month, right now, I got lined up. I got Anthony Venture, and I have Calby Ng, and I have 2 spots available, and I'm in contract negotiation with two YouTubers, and hopefully we get that wrapped up for the time and date and everything. So, yeah. What y'all got going on? What y'all got going on? JP Buffett is in the building. My dog. Philmo's in here. Man, my mouse is dead, so I'm going to have to be bouncing back and forth, getting the doggone questions from over here, which is crazy. But my mouse went dead right before it was time to get on here. So, but I don't want to keep the guests in the back for too long. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and make sure they in here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run an introduction, and we gonna take it from there. What is up, team? It's your boy Sledge from the SledgeIncTeam, back with another episode of Unfiltered 20 Questions with Sledge. And today we have a special guest. He's an international traveler. He has enough points to schedule his trips for 1 year in advance. Next to me, he the father of the year. And he's everybody's favorite uncle. It's my guy, the one and only Luke from Luke's Points and Miles. What is going on, my guy?
What's happening, Sledge? Glad to be here. Happy to be here.
I hope you like that introduction.
Very, very, very flattering. I don't get a lot of good introductions. Usually a little bit different, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anybody don't know? I'm pretty sure everybody know Luke, but I had the pleasure of meeting Luke I had the pleasure of meeting Luke 2 times. I met him in Las Vegas and recently met him in New Orleans at the Creator Meetups. Very down to earth, cool guy. And yeah, like I said, it was a pleasure meeting you. But for anybody that comes to my channel and isn't familiar with you, could you just give them a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm a little bit older, not as old as Sledge, but I'm a little bit older. I'm in uncle status. I'm 47, so I'm in the credit card game just like everybody else is here. And I like to describe my style and my game as I do it all. I do domestic economy, I do international business and first, I do solo, I do romantic couples trips, probably not so romantic, but I do family stuff, and and then every year I go meet my Navy buddy somewhere in a random place in the year. So, and I also do a pretty good cash back setup. So I like to think I'm well versed and kind of versatile in the whole game, and I like to have kind of my hands in all of it. But I've had a YouTube channel for I think it's been over 3 years. Like a lot of us, we started getting into this in COVID, and we needed something to keep ourselves busy and something to learn and something to get into. And you said about the creators meetup, man, just meeting people at that creator meeting up, it's priceless, because it's so many different kinds of people that would probably never meet up in real life, just all gel and have that thing in common. And almost everybody I've met has been really high level guys, and I'm just appreciate. I'm happy to be part of this community.
Absolutely. Well, the way Unfiltered 20 Questions with Sledge works is, I'm going to ask you, this is how it usually works. I usually ask some questions that's credit card related, some that's not credit card related, but I'm going to say 99.9% of ours are going to be credit card related, right? And at the very end, 4 or 5 questions, just going to be some fun questions, that I run through different scenarios with different people, and we just get it going like that, man. And if you're ready to get it going,
yeah. I told my wife I was going to let it rip, and she told me not to. So I'm disobeying. I'm all out. I'm all in today.
Oh yeah. All right, listen. The first question is going to be a question I've asked everybody who's ever been here. What actually made you, you said during COVID, you kind of got started, but what made you pick up a camera and start recording credit card content?
That's a wild question, man. And I am, the guy who gets into something and then goes full blast for, a certain period of time, and then it's the next thing. Well, listen, man, I've always been like that. I went from, I was a big jiu-jitsu player for a while. I fought some MMA. I did that for a while. And then after that, it was backpacking. So, I bought all the backpacking gear and spent the night out in the woods in the wintertime. And the next progression was kind of like personal finance. And I was one of those guys that I made great money. I made 6 figures, but I still had a ton of credit card debt just for no reason, right. For no reason at all. So I kind of went down that path, the personal finance path, and kind of read all the Dave Ramsey things and all that good stuff. And that led me to, and I love Dave Ramsey, by the way, but that led me to credit card points and miles. And for most of us, and like for me, that was just a cash back thing. I think my first couple, I had the Sapphire Reserve or Sapphire Preferred when it came out, but I just bought Amazon gift cards with that. I had no clue. But I think I got into the Amex Blue Cash Preferred and the Wells Fargo Propel card. And that's when my work sent me to Santa Cruz. And I thought, well, let me take my wife and son to Santa Cruz, because I used to travel a lot, being in the service and stuff like that. But I hadn't traveled in a long time. And I said, this is an opportunity to take them with me. And ever since then, it was, hey, this traveling stuff, this is what we have to do. I have to figure out a way to do it. And I was already kind of 1 foot in with the cash back and the Wells Fargo Propel. And I said, I've always wanted to learn this travel points and this complicated stuff. Let me just stick my head in it and go to it. And, I started out in the same way everybody else did, man. Ask Sebi, Credit Shifu. And I just thought those guys were really good. And I know you're going to say it the same way. Those guys are really good, but we're a little bit different.
Right.
So, and Sebi has his own thing, and I love his videos, but I'm a little bit different. I've got, and so I said, maybe somebody could get something from my perspective if I really got good at this game. So I didn't know how to do, I didn't have a camera. I had no idea you had to edit videos. I had a house that was, some of us have chaotic houses during some periods of time. I couldn't record at my house. I took a little camera and took it to my work on like a Saturday when nobody was in the building. and recorded my first video. And just you know how you get a couple positive pieces of feedback, and it's like, okay, so somebody gets what I'm doing.
Right.
Just went from there, man. And I am like a short-term guy getting into stuff, but this has been the longest, I think. So, you know, I'm still at that point where I'm just going to see where it goes.
That's what's up, man. Hey, kind of like the same thing, you know, started watching those videos and it was just like, man, I'm also interested in this, you know, like I'm also interested in this. And it's the same thing as far as the cash back. Start off with a small cash back, like nothing crazy, but you know, some cash back, and it just transformed into this.
And it's a huge game. It's so many levels and so many, you know, different things to learn. And it really did keep that hobby part of my brain going for a lot of years,
right.
when a lot of us needed it.
Right. And you know what, at the same time, man, there's still more to learn.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's still more to learn.
Well, that's why they have those Discords, man. I'm amazed at the dudes in that Discord that are so smart, and I just love listening to them talk. Like, because every time somebody says, you know, so there's some of them are, you know, kind of trolling, but so many of them are so smart, and every time they say something, I go, oh, that sounds good. That makes a lot of sense. I'm just happy to be the dumbest guy in the room most of the time.
Yeah, you know what? I look at some of those messages and I'm like, man, I never even thought that deep into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking deep into it. Like I'm not even close to some of what these guys are thinking. So now, this is for Cesar Joel, because this is a question I probably asked my last 5 or 6 guests, but Cesar is the person who first came with this question. And the question is, if you had one credit card that you can use for life, what would that credit card be?
Yeah, I have to, like, if I'm going off my standard answer, it's got to be a boring answer, and it's going to be the Venture X. It's because that's one of my higher limit cards, no foreign transaction fees. It's got the travel benefits, and it's got enough travel benefits I can still kill it in the game. Even the double miles, I spend enough, I can still get it. And all the folks that kind of knock it because you can't get cash back, or they say you can only get a half a point. Well, I have enough travel expenses. I can, what do you call it? Purchase eraser, you know, those miles in for 1 cent per point. And it's just, that's the easiest one. Second would have to be, I'd have to really think about the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I know that gets a bum rap a lot. Or, and this is funny, what's it called? The Redstone Federal Credit Union card. That card is unreal. It's crazy. And I could do just fine with that cashback card. But I don't want to say Venture X. I'm a huge Venture X mark. I talk about it a lot, unashamedly, and I like Capital One. Yeah,
I mean, if you can get into Capital One like that, you know, me and Capital One got a rocky relationship. So we starting to mend it a little bit. They let me get the Saber One with you know, the excellent credit one, so I got the bonus on it. But yeah, we had a rocky relationship before that. But
well, the good thing is you only need 2 cards, and then you can just leave them alone. you got it. Alone. Lightning's got to strike twice and leave them alone.
Now, your very first video was titled "The Most Overpowered Credit Card from American Express," and that video was about the Hilton Aspire card. Mm-hmm. The question is, do you still think that the Aspire card is the most overpowered American Express card? And if so, can you give us your reasoning on it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, and it still is, even with the couple of refreshes have been going on since then. And it's because with American Express for me, and I have knocked American Express in the last year pretty hard. And I still maintain that if you only want a small amount of cards, and I'll use the same example, use the American Express trifecta with the Aspire and a no foreign transaction fee MasterCard or something for your spare for when you're overseas. Because you only have 2 or 3 cards, you can pay attention to those credits. You can get value out of those credits, and you can absolutely smoke it with American Express, especially with how to earn points. The Hilton Aspire, it still has crazy easy to use Hilton Resorts credits. I talk a lot that just the gold and diamond status, you could raise that annual fee to $1,000, and I'm still going to make it back just on food and beverage credits.
Right.
Just on that $30 or $50 a day, and that's it. And everything else is just just gravy. The free night. I'm on I'm one of those people where you give me a free night, I'm probably going to trade that joker in for $1,000 night somewhere, because those aren't doors I can walk in.
For sure.
So I'm going to use it. And then once I got really good, I'm going to take my tribe with me, and they don't belong there. So I'm going to take 4 or 5 of us there. So,
right.
So if you go somewhere really nice and you see a bunch of people that don't belong, it might be me.
You and your crew.
me and my guys.
I can't be mad at that at all, man. Look, if you're going to spend that free night certificate, spend it on something that you wouldn't normally buy. It just makes more sense, unless you have to spend it for an emergency.
Sure. And the other knock that I just want to counter some of the knocks on the Hilton cards. If you want to get into that Hilton ecosystem, you can very easily wind up with 3 or 4 free night certificates in your pocket at once. Now you can start going to those, Conrads and Waldorfs, and you can do a lot of good things in that ecosystem. I've been hinting at moving away from hotel loyalty for a while. There's a chance Hilton could pull me back, but we'll see.
Hey, I like Hilton. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to say that I'm not loyal to any specific brand, because I will mix it up. But majority of my stays, if I'm gonna be honest with myself, are at Hilton. So
right, yeah.
We got to give a big shout out to Xavier for the $49.99 spot, man. Yeah,
nice work.
Yeah, we got Mr. 1099. I mean, that's Mr. 1099, man. Like we all embedded to this guy, man. He's
another one in the community, man, that has a special role. And Xavier's great, man. All these guys are great. It's weird.
Great, man.
It's suspiciously positive around here. For the most part.
No, I gotta give a big shout out to my boy John. I say John is my brother, so I definitely got to give a shout out to John. We got Chad's Money Minutes in the building. Of course, that's my brother.
Well, like Chad, me and Chad's families hung out together at the Conrad.
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah. I've seen Chad there a couple times. Yeah, he's a regular there.
That's what's up. Now, I asked this question about the one card that you have, and I think I already know the answer to this because you kind of hinted to it. If you could only have one no annual fee card for the rest of your life, it don't have to be a card that you have. Just any no annual fee card, which card would that be?
If I had to pick without doing the math, I'm going to do the Redstone Federal Credit Union. But I would want to do. I would want to make sure that those 3 and 5% categories, because it gets a 1.5 on everything else. So it's not just a 1% on everything else. It's 1.5%. So I'm pretty sure that's going to beat any 2% card. And no annual fee card. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything I would rather have, just because I'm also somebody that buys points and miles. Right. So you give me a cashback injection, I'm going to make it work for similar to what I'm still doing now.
For sure. Don't talk about that too much yet. Now you also made a video about 3 years ago about how you got 12 credit cards in 13 months.
Oh, I've done better than that.
Okay, that was part of the question.
Yeah, that was rookie numbers.
Now, the question was going to be, do you still keep that same velocity? And if not, what is your strategy now? And how many average do you average now?
Well, it's in the process of changing. I want to say, like, I just dropped a video. It might have been today it dropped, but I think I've gotten I've averaged a sign-up bonus every 4 to 6 weeks for the last 3 years. So, and that's like I know you say the same thing. That's just me. That's not my player too. I'm commonly working on 2 sign-up bonuses at the same time, and not even really by design.
Right.
The video I dropped today was called Credit Card Endgame. I already have all the credit cards I want. So if I'm up here doing something with my YouTube or whatever, and I see an advertisement for, let's say the American Airlines business card, I already have one, and I applied for another one anyway. Again, I got it. So I'm at the point now where I want to slow way down, and I have been canceling cards that are kind of out there for me, or 1 year cards. But I don't know if I'll ever truly slow down. I mean, we've had a lot of similar experiences. There was one time, was it last year, or I got 7 chase cards in 6 months, and I've always been over 524. But I just wanted to see if I could keep doing it.
Wow.
So I would like to say I'm slowing down, but I can't promise it.
Can't promise it. Now, speaking of the video that you dropped today about the credit card end game, and this should have been I started to lead off with this question because you kind of left it open for 2025. You know, you really didn't give any. Is there any specific card that you think that Luke is most likely go try to grab in 2025?
If there's a card that I need to, my biggest thought right now is Navy Federal Credit Union is having a promotion right now. If you sign up for a new member, I think it's like $300, and then you can get a credit card to get $200. So right now I got my wife working on that because she's not a member, but she can do it through me and her dad, her grand, everybody in her family's military. But if there's a card I need to get my hands on, I'm really tempted to have my wife get the Aeroplan card from Chase. I think that's a really underrated card, and I'm a huge fan of Aeroplan points, just because that's the easiest way for us to get to Europe on business class.
Right.
On Star Alliance. Just easy.
You know, what's funny is I watched the video that you had about that, and I didn't incorporate any questions about it. Well, I just watched it today. I just watched the video that you had about Airplane.
Yeah, they're unreal, man. Like, they're so easy. I mean, their website's great. They do have a kind of a somewhat hefty cancellation fee because I cancel everything, but the Aeroplan is money, man, and I think the card's really good. But everything else I already have. I don't need.
Right. Yeah, you made me want to look into that one. The only thing is Chase. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll get denied for it, so I'm not going to put in for it.
You only have the Amex Business Platinum now, right? You canceled the personal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And you one of the few people, I mean, there are some people, but you one of the few people that held both cards at the same time.
A couple times.
Right.
A couple different times.
What made you stick with the Platinum Business?
Well, here's the deal. If you remember, I was making a lot of content, somewhat negative about the direction American Express was going, and the credits absolutely work for me. They do, but I wanted to simplify things, and I didn't think I needed the Amex Platinum card, so I didn't downgrade it. I just canceled it. Looking back, I should have downgraded it to the green, but I canceled it. The only reason I got the business one was because they had that big giant offer, and it was a no lifetime language. Now, and here's the thing. If I never get American Express cards again, I will always get every single no lifetime language offer they offer to me. Every single time. If you want to give me 150,000 MR points, I don't care if it's the sack and save card. I don't care what it is. I'm going to get them 150,000 points and adjust fire later. So right now I have Business Platinum, Business Gold, and the Blue Business Plus, and I have a no annual fee Hilton card. That's the only thing I have from American Express now.
Well, I actually have an upgrade offer from the Business Gold to the Business Platinum right now. 120, MR points for only 10K spend compared to 15 or whatever. But yeah, I think I might go ahead and take it. I was talking to John earlier and was like, nah, yeah, I'll probably still take it.
For me, that's easy money because I can use the credits on the Business Platinum as well. They're not great, but you kind of get your money back.
Right. You got first you got something flattering here. JP Buffett said Luke was one of the first YouTubers who videos that he watched in this space.
That's awesome, man. And now we're watching JP.
And now we're watching JP. Now, Red Sox 101 says, how do you think that the points and miles game will change under, I'm going to say, his Lord and Savior, Trump?
Listen, somebody asked me about Springfield, Ohio on a live one time, and I answered their question, and I lost about 60 subscribers. So Red Sox, you can keep all them questions. I have no opinion on that. I'm one of them old school private political guys. I'll listen to you, and I'll never get mad at anybody by the way they feel, but I'm never going to be the one who wants you to know all my opinions on that stuff.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Because I get along with both of them. I get along with all of them. I don't.
Hey, my life pretty much stayed the same regardless. You know,
Yeah.
I might pay a little more, a little less, whatever, but yeah, my life still stayed the same, you know.
Yep.
Let me see. Not having this freaking mouth working is killing me. All right, now when you get some of these cards that have annual fees, you know, we may or may not keep these cards for the long run. Do you have any cards that you never plan on canceling?
You know, I've said that before, and I've canceled them. I said that about the gold card. I said it about the American Express Platinum card. They're both gone. Do I have one that here's an honest one that I even though I try to convince myself to move on from it, I don't see a reason to get rid of the Capital One Venture X. It kind of, people say, I just don't like using the travel portal. Is it that big of a deal to book one of your economy flights a year in a travel portal?
I don't get it.
No, man. It's easy to break even. And like I said, it's my catch-all. It's a high limit card with no foreign transaction fees. It makes things easy. If I'm going overseas, I'm probably only using 2 cards. So, you know, that's the last thing I want to think about. And we're all nerds and want to use the best card for everything. Right. But if you're overseas, you got some other stuff to worry about.
Right. So, exactly.
Yeah, I can't see myself getting rid of that one, man. Even though if I broke my setup down to less ecosystems, it might be a good idea to eliminate Capital One, but I don't think I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if you had a Venture X, it's one of those cards that a lot of people would have a hard time canceling.
Yeah, I just don't know why. Why would you get rid of that? Well, I don't like a portal.
If you got a card, why would you get rid of it? And the portal thing is like, it is what it is.
I'm bringing them back in 2025, man. I'm going on a crusade to bring portals back because I think there's some advantages there.
I think there's some advantages too. And I know a lot of people talk about the third party thing and all of that.
I want to hear their personal stories about that. Not just this. Tell me how it happened to you.
You know how they heard someone else say it, and that was that. But hey, it is what it is. I got to give a shout out to Joe for becoming a member of the channel. Shout out to you, big bro.
Nice, Joe.
Joe Moretto been a member for 7 months.
Wow.
And I just had to say this because it's funny. Rex, I say, you're a good man, Lucas Sledge, just like our Lord and Savior Trump.
Can Red Sox do the dance?
I see John Jones do it the other night.
He did it.
Let me get back. Let me get back to my question. Yeah, I see John Jones do it. What did you think about that Tyson fight?
Here's the thing, man. I love boxing. I love combat sports. I don't like Jake Paul, and I didn't think that was going to be at all interesting.
I didn't either.
And I would have never watched it if it cost even $1.
Right.
But this is what I will say. I thought the Netflix production, besides the buffering, the production was great. The other fights were really entertaining.
Right.
And I hope Netflix continues on with some type of boxing because I could do Friday night fights just like when we were kids. The Friday night fights on the main channel, I could do that every Friday. Yeah. So I liked it for that, and I'm glad it was successful. But I don't have anything for Jake Paul, and I'm actually really critical of Mike Tyson in general. And I'd like to anybody listening, name me one great fighter he beat, because Mike Tyson didn't show up to big fights.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something hilarious. I'll say the same exact thing.
People get mad because all they know is Mike Tyson, the character,
knocking people out, right?
and the legend. Yeah,
Right.
like he knocked a guy out that fought over here at the dance club in Columbus, Ohio. You know, I mean,
Yeah, I'll say the same thing, but yeah, I'm gonna get the same flag as you. Now, see, now I'm gonna lose those those subscribers you were talking about. Now listen, how many credit cards are too many credit cards for Luke? If there's a magic number.
No, there's not. There's not a
never
number.
there.
No, I hear because here not only is it somewhat of an obsession, but it's my main hobby, and I've started making money from it. So now that I make a little bit of money every month, and I get to take my family and my people to crazy places. No, man, 100. We'll say 100. After that, it might be too much.
I didn't even incorporate this question, but how many do you have now?
I don't know. I'll have to count them up. It was real close to you, and I think sometimes I pass you, but I cancel them. So I think like where you're at, I kind of go up and right around there.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot, and I just if an annual, like there's a couple cards like the Air France card, I just canceled that, which is not a bad card. And I'll be canceling my Alaska card, my Alaska business card soon. The number will be lower in 6 months, I think, because I'm going to be canceling them faster than I'm getting them.
Yeah. I think for 2025, I'm going to have, I won't say significantly less, but I'm going to have less cards than I have right now. But the thing is, like you said earlier, you think about canceling cards. Like I said, I was going to cancel a business goal for 2 years. This year, I said I was going to cancel it. And now I think I'm going to take the upgrade to the platinum. So I'm still going to have a card.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. I do. I made a mistake by just canceling it, but I was at the point where I really wanted to trim the annual fees because, in the grand scheme of things, as much as some of us travel, it's not a bunch of money, but it is a bunch of money. It still comes out of my pocket, and I'm like, gosh,
right?
You know, and American Express is pricey, man.
Yeah, for sure. American Express is pricey because you know what? If you anything like me, you're not even thinking about those annual fees until you get that out. You're like, what the hell? $6.95, $5.50.
What account is this going to come out of? Oof.
Right. It's not like when you first get the card and you expecting that annual fee, you know. So no. Now, out of all the cards that you had or haven't had or just talked about, what do you think is the most underrated card out there?
Underrated. I usually have a really quick answer to this. I'm drawing a blank, but underrated. I think there's a lot, man. There's usually 2 or 3 cards that I always talk about being underrated. And I think one of them always is the US Bank Cash Plus. And even if you're not into cash back, I want to say why, because you can put it on stuff like home utilities, which most people are not earning a lot of points on home utilities. I know the business Wyndham card earns on it, but 5% cash back on stuff that you can just set up auto pay and just set it up to pay it. It's so easy. Underrated. There's a couple. The CharisMic Cash, I think, is the most underrated card out there. Not that I guess it's not really that underrated, but I think it's so powerful. It just puts it in the underrated category, just because it can do so much. That's your cable and your internet is 5x on UR points. The office supply stores, if you're into that, you can really take advantage of that because you can buy a lot of stuff at office supply stores. And it has all those Chase offers. Those Chase offers are like most of us have so many cards we can't even keep track of the offers. But when you kind of zero into that, there's a lot of good. 5-7% back on, this certain gas station. And if you're just using that, you can point stack pretty hard on some of those underrated cards.
Well, the funny thing, I don't know, man, you must be reading my mind. Yesterday, I'm telling you, I was talking to John this morning and he was talking about US Bank cards. And I'm like, the Cash Plus is probably a card that I'm really considering, saying at this point. And I actually applied. The only e-card I've ever applied for was the ink cash, and I got the decline for it a couple months ago.
Do you have it unlimited?
I don't have any. I don't have any
Okay.
ink cards.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll say, because you could just change. Like that's the great thing with some of them, you just change. I know there's a couple other that I always call underrated, and it's for some reason that's just not in my brain tonight.
Oh, man,
But
you
Cash
old,
Plus for sure. Yeah, I am getting old. Yeah, I'll figure. I'll remember it here when we're done.
Right. Yeah, you can always come back. All right, QC Man said the travel portal complaints are overblown, and of course we both agree with that.
Yeah,
But
and
you do
here,
have a question.
okay.
Let me see. Kicks through mail says, okay, the question's for you, so I can't say I'm not asking the question. Say
The Alaska airline redemption. What I did with that is when I got that gold business bonus, 175,000 points. As soon as I got it, I transferred it to Hawaiian to Alaska, and I think I did another transfer to Hawaiian and then to Alaska. And the first thing I booked was Alaska. I booked American Airlines business class back to Grand Cayman in August, and I'm taking one of the extra step kids, one of the grown step kids, and so she's never been to. I've taken her to Miami a couple of times, but she's never been out of the country. She's the one who, when I told them all go get a passport, we're going somewhere, she's the only one that went and got one. So since she went and got a passport, we're going to scan that joker. So I got ended up getting 2 rooms at the Seafire IHG resort, and then things are $1,000 a day, but they're only 70,000 IHG points. So it's a crazy soft spot. 4th night free, so 210,000 IHG points for $4,000 room, and I got 2 rooms. So
wow.
My little boy's going to love going there with his sister, and we'll have a little babysitter so me and mom can go hang out.
See, that's go back to what we were talking about earlier about the hotel loyalty, man. Like IHG is kind of pulling me in that direction a little bit, man. The customer service is awesome at their locations, man.
I hope QC Man is joking. I hope it's Francois. Now I would go watch Francois Botha, but he's not on anybody's list of
Peter McNeely, the guy who got knocked out by the pizza.
And somebody said Spinks. Well, Spinks was a great boxer at cruiserweight.
Right.
He wasn't no real heavyweight, and if you were alive back then, he was a great boxer.
He was a great boxer.
He wasn't a great heavyweight.
And that was his last fight, right?
No, he never fought after that.
Yeah, he never fought after them 91 seconds.
I don't he got the heavyweight payday and called it a night.
Yeah, got a heavyweight payday and called it a night.
I just because we got a guy here in Columbus that whooped Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas. Yeah,
Buster Douglas.
I sat with Buster at a Golden Gloves tournament in Columbus. It was just me, him, and another guy. He's a nice guy. Still does a lot of kid stuff, little kids boxing stuff in the area. So he's a good dude.
He got his payday too and was like,
yep.
Well, he fought Holyfield after that.
Yeah,
he was going. Yep. He got
Razor Ruddock. Yeah, Razor Ruddock, the best fighter Mike Tyson ever beat, and hardly nobody knows who that is.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. Razor Ruddock probably was the best fighter he beat. But you got to think about, he didn't fight Riddick Bowe, right? He didn't fight Riddick Bowe. He didn't fight Holyfield for a long time. And he didn't fight Lennox Lewis for a long time.
And Lennox cleaned him up pretty good.
Lennox
is the most underrated. Lennox is the most underrated dude on them lists.
Probably of all time, maybe. He's one of them.
He has no unavenged losses.
Right. No unavenged losses. And he was a big fighter that knew how to fight big.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a big fighter that knew how to fight big. And
he's a good commentator. He's a good commentator too.
Right. Hey, he kept Holyfield in that comment the other night because Holyfield was in another world on it.
Holyfield didn't know where he was.
All right. So just over 2 years ago, you created a video titled 10 Reasons for Choosing Hotel Status over Airline Status. do you still prefer hotel status?
100%. And that's easy, man. Like, I have almost 100% moved my flights to, I booked the flight I want. So if I want to fly first class because I think it's going to be a hectic day or I'm going to be tired or whatever, I book the first class or I book the business class. If I'm taking my family overseas, they get to ride in business class. Just the way it is. I will never have status with any airline because I don't fly one airline enough. However, it's really difficult to discount hotel status because we all know you get a hotel status with a chain you like. It does come with benefits. It comes with real tangible benefits that you can share with people. I mean, it's just I mean, we've had, like I said, I've been a little bit critical of Hilton status, and I don't get upgraded much. I just don't. But the couple times I have been pretty spectacular. I always say I've stayed in hotels that were bigger than the house I grew up in. I've stayed in hotels that had more bathrooms than the house I grew up in.
Right.
So, and that's hotel status, man. I think it's great.
It is great. Stan stayed in the same hotel as me in New Orleans. And I told him, I'm like, man, they already gave me an upgrade, man. All you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
He asked them right away. And I think when he got there, they gave him an upgrade on top of that upgrade after he got there. So, yeah. You got a QC man say, this isn't a political question. He said that because Trump's name is in it. But do you think there's any chance that Trump will actually cap the interest rates on credit cards at 10%?
If you're asking me, do I personally think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
No, I don't
think so either. 10%?
I think he might make some noise about it, and I think he might get some movement on it. I don't think we're going to get a cap. I don't think we're going to get a hard cap. I don't think our rewards game is going to change a lot. No. But U.S. Bank, and listen, you think them banks don't know who's going to be the president? U.S. Bank just offered everybody 4% if they move their retirements over there. You think that they're going to give you 4% and not charge anybody interest? They already know what's going on. They're part of those five major banks are like pulling strings, and they're, come on, man.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
I'm not at all worried about that.
Well, I say I scored big this year with the Hawaiian Airlines 75,000 points with only one purchase. Then I took the transfer over to Alaskan Air Miles, and I booked a first class flight U.S. to Lima.
I've booked that and I canceled it. I wish, and it's supposed to be for this January. I was supposed to go to Lima, Peru, and I cancel stuff and book. And this is now I'm going to Marrakesh, Morocco, but it's the fourth one I booked. I wish I would have kept Lima because you can, Lima's it just seems such a cool place to go for me, like a random place. But I booked that same trip with Alaskan Miles on Latam Air. So it's a good deal. I think it's 34,000 Alaskan miles for business class all the way down to South America. It's a good deal. And Lima looks so cool.
I swear, if I was on the West Coast, I'd definitely have that Alaska. I would definitely have that Alaska card, man.
You can book a lot of your American Airlines stuff on it, and you can actually book. You're south, like Philly. You can do Philly to Europe for 45,000 in business class on One World flights. I'm not sure how far down south you can do it, but you might be able to get something out of Miami. Charlotte to Europe you can do for 45,000.
Yeah, that's what Charlotte is gonna probably have to be my routing. I mean, I lay over in Charlotte all the time anyway.
Yeah. For like 30 minutes. Every time I see it, they give me a 30-minute. I'm like, no. You're like, yeah, I'm not running through airports.
No. Actually, I just came back from Cleveland yesterday, and I'm glad I had a kind of a long layover because my freaking plane was delayed for like an hour. Yeah, plane was delayed for like an hour. So if I didn't have that layover, man, it would have been a pain right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, I know your preference with hotels, of course, is Hilton. I mean, that's your preference. Mm-hmm. What about airlines? I know you talk a lot about Delta and American. You have a preference?
I have no preference whatsoever. I've tried. I have platinum status with American right now. I've had the Delta cards. I tried to be a Delta guy, and I let my personal feelings get in the way with Delta. I had a really cool family Mexico trip, and it was one of the summers where Delta had a meltdown and canceled my flights. And the reason why it was so personal because they canceled my flights, and the resort I booked in Mexico gave me a huge hassle about a refund. I had booked them through Amex Travel, so I had to get Amex involved to get me my money back, and they really made it tough on me. They said I had to email them the cancellation email and all this stuff, and I'm like, so I took it out on Delta and said, well, forget Delta, I'm going to go American. And now whatever ride you got for me, that's the direct flight or the fastest or whatever, I'm on it.
Right.
I don't have a preference, but the only lounge I have in Columbus is on the American United side. So if I fly Delta, I probably won't be able to stop at the Escape Lounge.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, at least you have an escape lounge. The only two lounges in Tampa are Admirals Club and Scott Club. That's it. So there's no priority pass. There's no unless you have access into either one of those lounges, then you just out of luck.
If that was the case, it's probably a good idea just to pick one. Get it.
Right. Well, luckily for me, I had a platinum, so I can get into the Sky. Like, you know, if I'm going Delta and I have the AA executive,
Tampa. I think
we two guests in.
I'm trying to think. I think they fly Southwest from Columbus to Tampa. I'm not sure. I think we have to connect if it's Delta, which is so silly. Like,
probably.
We have a small airport, so
yeah, probably got to go to Atlanta.
But
anywhere
Southwest goes direct.
They send me to Atlanta for the most part, for whatever reason. Somebody said they got a 6-hour layover. Oh my God, 6 hours,
especially in Miami.
Jeez,
because you're only going to Centurion, it's overcrowded, or that awful Turkish. The Turkish lounge in Washington Dulles is awesome. The Turkish lounge in Miami sucks so bad.
Yeah, Miami airport by itself, I mean, it's already super crowded in there. So
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Now, out of all the international flights, not flights, but international trips that you've been on, which one has been your most memorable?
I'm gonna have to go with I think the last one we went to. This last one. See, I have to obey the school schedule now, so I can't just take the boy and fly off. I have to do like the spring break, summertime, and he gets a week off in October. So I got to kind of play by those rules. And last summer we left, and the reason why it was so good is because I took him to a place not very many people that I know have been to. We went from Columbus to Toronto and flew to Amsterdam. Spent a couple of days in Amsterdam, which I think is really cool because of the canals, and it was like cooler, rainy weather, just what I picture Amsterdam to be. But that wasn't the good part. From Amsterdam, we flew to Malta. Now, I went to Malta when I was in the Navy in the 90s. So I was familiar with what it was, but most of the people I meet don't even know where it is. And it kind of, it looks kind of like Sardinia or Sicily, something like that. I think it's closer to Africa than it is to Italy. So it's in that southern Mediterranean zone. And just going there and going to those old cities and those kind of different things. My wife really, really liked it. My son liked it. The Hilton in Malta gave us an upgrade. We had the lounge access, all that good stuff. And that was the most memorable. And I'm trying to cut off the last part of the trip. Because you know how when you travel just a little bit too long and people start not getting along? So we went from Malta over to Zurich and spent a couple of days in Switzerland and then traveled over to Geneva. But those times in Switzerland, I think we had reached our limit of being around each other and being traveling. So the Malta part was super fun. Just because it was completely different,
Yeah, and I never heard of Malta myself.
They have you remember the Popeye movie with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
That's Malta.
Oh, wow.
And that Popeye village is still there.
So, yeah.
So that's blue, like turquoise blue water, rocks, and all that stuff.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, but I'm trying to beat it, man. I'm beating it this summer. We're
You
gonna
beat me with
every one of them's gonna. You know what? Yeah,
one up.
that's my favorite. But we're gonna beat it this summer.
So we'll be looking forward to seeing what you got coming up.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Now you got a question. I'm kind of uncertain about this. He says, since he fly first class, of course he has access to the Admirals Club when he get to Miami. But what about the flagship? He flying international. Won't he have access to the flagship lounge there?
He'll only have access to the lounge if he's flying first class international.
Right.
Not domestic. So where's
he going? It's an international flight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not super sure about Americans' rules with the lounges because I don't.
I'm not sure about that flagship lounge. I just know that it's very nice.
If it's first class, it might be the flagship.
Yeah,
because business would get the lower tier.
Right.
Yeah, just check in or you could do the app on American.
Right. If I was you, I would check and see if you can get to the flagship lounge. I want to get into one of those things, man. I actually looked into one. It's one right across from the Capital One lounge in DFW. It's literally right there. When you go in that little door, it's on the other side of the Capital One lounge. And I was able to look through there, man. It's a very nice lounge, man. There's chefs in there, and it's a super nice lounge. Mm-hmm. But I never actually was able to get in there. I know I've seen a question for you. Where'd it go? I lost it. Okay, there it is. The question was, if you had to pick a 5-card setup, what is it and why? Don't have to be the same ecosystem.
Okay. I'm going to go Venture X, Saver Card. Then I'm going to go to Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'm going to do the Freedom, the 5-time category Freedom card. And I'm going to go the Inc. Cash card with Chase. So 3 Chase, 2 Capital Ones, a lot of good lounge access, manageable annual fees, tons of travel benefits. I got my catch-all for Venture X. I got a couple different 5 times categories, and I got my Chase Reserve for to pair for the 3 times travel. That's easy money right there.
3 times, yeah. I'm gonna leave that to you. Got a question from JP Knowledge. Since you are, well, I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say 1. Since you are a high-class, fancy traveler, I'm curious to what's the most expensive bottle of alcohol that you own and the most expensive you have tasted.
Well, here's the thing, JP. If you know how much it costs, you ain't that high class. So, I don't have any idea how much it costs. I don't buy alcohol, so I don't know. Like I think we have a cabinet full of liquor, but I've never opened the cabinet, so I don't drink much. I do like my fruity drinks when I go on vacation, and I'm not like sober. I'm not like don't drink, but I rarely drink except for if I'm celebrating something. So I don't have any idea. I don't even know how much a bottle of liquor costs.
You know what? I'll say the most expensive bottle of liquor I had was and this was because I was for the 1 millionth time I was the best man in a wedding. You know what I mean? It was like my best friend, and I bought a bottle of Remy Martin Louis the 13th. And I'm not gonna say how much it cost, you know what I'm saying, because it's gonna sound ridiculous, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's about it. So if you know how much Remy Martin Louis the 13th is, you'll know from there. All right. Say, I am a Knight of the Order of Malta. Glad you enjoyed Malta, Luke. Did you go see St. John's Co-Cathedral?
Oh, of course we did. Yeah, we did St. John's. We did Blue Lagoon. Man, I'm having a hard time with my brother. The couple islands that are next to it. We did the Valletta. We hung out in Valletta a lot. We did everything in Malta, man. Like I said, I went there when I was in the Navy. Much different experience. I was a youngster. I think I was 19 when I first went there. But going back as an older guy, it was we didn't do the party thing, obviously, but Malta's really cool, and it's cool. You're a night. We did the whole presentation when they talk about the history and the Maltese Nights and all that good stuff. Yeah, very cool place, man. I don't know if we'll go back, but my wife really liked it, and I'm glad.
You got from Tio Rico.
Tio can read my mind. Super underrated card.
You know what's funny is I was surprised you didn't say that as an underrated card.
Tio really got me. Yeah, here's the thing. That is like it. Here's why it's so underrated. Doesn't matter what your setup or what your style is. It does not matter. And let's say you're a Chase trifecta guy. You don't have a grocery category. So grab that AAA Visa and just stack a little bit of cash back. It caps out at 10 grand, which for a single guy, that should be more than enough. Right. If you got a family, it probably not, but that's an underrated card, man. It's people shy away from it because it's from a weird issuer. It might be Comenity, but I have it. I use it. And I always say, don't tell anybody, but mine codes at Walmart.
Oh, does it really?
So 5% cash back at Walmart. That's big league. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. The most I know is what, I think 3X with, is it PenFed Platinum? Yeah. PenFed Platinum.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They'll give you 3X in Andrew's titanium card. They both give you 3X at Walmart and Target. Yeah. I keep saying I'm gonna get that PenFed Platinum, and then I just don't get it.
They won't give me a card. They won't pre-approve me for a card.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with them. They don't you know what? Because they really don't like velocity.
No,
like they don't. I kind of got those cards a little bit earlier, you know. So they don't.
Navy Federal doesn't care.
No, Navy Federal don't care at all. they do not care at all. All right, now what is we sticking on travel a little bit? What is the destination that you plan on traveling to in the near future?
All right, so this is what my setup looks like right now, and these are not getting canceled. Like I said, I cancel almost everything I book. So wherever I go, that's like the third trip, the third time so I pay a lot of money in cancellation fees. January, Marrakesh, Morocco, solo. My wife won't go to Africa. It's not even Marrakesh. I don't think is a place she'd want to go anyway because all them guys pestering you and bothering you and stuff. But I've never been to Africa that I can think of, and I just want to check that off the list. I think it's a cool place. I want to feel like Indiana Jones. But so I'm going to Marrakesh by myself. I plan on doing a lot of YouTube work and a lot of I'm gonna try to vlog. I'm gonna try to do some vlogging. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but January is that, and I'm trying to also keep it down a little bit in 2025. So February, I have a secret trip that I can't talk about because my son's watching this live. So there's a secret trip in there, small, short one. March for spring break, me and the boy and the wife are going to Lisbon, Portugal. Great redemption. That's a sweet spot with Avianca. We're going to go there and we're doing IHG. And you know what? That daggone Europe, they won't let you put 3 in a room in a lot of rooms. So I had to get 2 IHG rooms, but it's so affordable. I don't really mind. So Lisbon, Portugal in March, June 1st, we are flying to, and we have to fly separate. This is a weird one. That's ITA Airways, the Italian airline. We're flying from Boston to Rome on ITA Airlines in business class, but we have to take separate flights. They only have 2 award seats on each flight. So staying at the Waldorf Cavalieri in Rome for 5 nights, and then we're going down to the Amalfi Coast to Sorrento, the Hilton in Sorrento for like 3 nights. And I'm flying back on Iberia. So I have to stop in Madrid, which I heard their lounge is really cool. So I'm trying to make that a positive thing. We get to see a new lounge. But I try to fly different international carriers just to kind of put the information out. And then that's our summertime trip. Before he goes back to school for his birthday, I'm taking him and his stepsister and the wife to Grand Cayman. Man. So I still have to plan October. So we'll see. My wife told me it has to be domestic, close, short trips in October. I don't think I'm going to listen to her. I think I'm going big league. I think
we the total opposite. I'm not got to plan a trip tomorrow.
Yeah, I could do that too. Like but I love, like, if I've got a surplus of points and I know when my time off is, I want to make sure that and I know a lot of people criticize this. They say, you have to use your points for exactly what you want. Here's the deal, man. If I got a week in October, I don't really care where it is. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the time. I'm going to say, I have a week in October. Where can I get a good deal to an interesting place in this part of the world?
Right.
I don't care if it's Germany, Austria, or Slovenia. It's all the same to me.
Right.
So that's how I do mine. And I know, because I've been so many places, I don't care if it's a little, like, I'll go to Poland in October. That'd be cool. I've never been to Poland. So I kind of do my trips random like that. Most of them. Obviously, everybody wants to go to Hawaii, so you go to Hawaii. But but that's what I have for this year. But I could book more. I don't know.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's fun. It
does. It sounds good to me. Now, in your latest video, you mentioned purchasing hotel and airline points with cashback credit cards. Now, can you tell us why you would do it with the cashback credit cards?
Yeah, I've always been really critical on some people who say, I'm team travel, and then they go and redeem all their points for 1.25 cents in a Chase portal, and then tell me that my 5% grocery card won't work for them because they're team travel.
Right.
Well, if you get into this game and you start looking at which of these hotel chains lower or have sales on their points, which of these airlines have sales, because you're not going to get a super great redemption by transferring your Chase points to IHG. It's terrible. I mean, that's a bad thing to do. But you can use cash back and buy IHG points for half a penny. And like I just said, IHG points, man, $210,000 for a $4,000 stay. But you buy them for half a penny each. Right. You're killing it. It makes, and I think the other thing, it might be necessity for me, because these trips I just named off, I need 3 business class seats. That's not cheap. Right. So, maybe I get 100,000 Aeroplan points. I transfer from Amex. Maybe I, do 40,000 from Chase. Well, then I buy 20,000. Just to top it off. Sometimes I don't do the airline points much, but Hilton and IHG, I usually max those out. I think Hilton, you spend $2,400 and you get almost 500,000 Hilton points. Then when you have that 5th night free, you really start cranking it out. So you can, and it's, people always say, well, there's only so many points I can earn with the hotel points, but I can buy another 500,000. Right. And I'm going to use them. Like most people would say, don't buy them speculatively. And I agree with that, but it turns out I'm going to use them. So I'll buy them as soon as they go on sale. Now I've already maxed out for 2024. So I'm just waiting. And I also do it during sign-up bonuses. Yeah. So like this American Airlines card I got, I'll probably hold it still until January and then drop 2,400 on Hilton points. I mean, it's not as great as earning them all, and I get that. And it's not, like Dugrass says, none of my travel comes out of my family's, but I get that. But I'm not a free traveler. As well as I do. None of that stuff's free. So it comes out of somewhere. And I'm lucky enough, or fortunate enough to where like my YouTube can pay me enough cash to maybe buy some of those miles. Right.
I'm glad when I get to that time, man. Hey, make sure y'all hit the freaking like button, man.
Yes.
Hit the like button on both channels. Hit the like button. Now, I know you got a few Citibank cards. And I feel like people sleep on Citi, man. Like, what is your take on Citibank credit cards?
Well, if you watched my video I just released today, I'm starting to say the same thing over and over again, and I'm starting to say, just give me the points. I think the benefits are great. I think the credits are great, but it comes to a point where if you want to really be singular and focused on just give me the points. I'll book my own first class flight. I'll book my own suite, And I think Citi is one of the best. Citi is one of the best to do that because you only need a $95 annual fee card. You can get multiple custom caches. You can get the Citi double cash. But as long as you get that Premier, if you don't need the extras and you don't need the fluff and all the flashy stuff, you just want the points you can earn with Citi. But there's a caveat with that. You can't get a ton of sign-up bonuses.
Right.
So that's a little bit, but if you're just your regular organic spend, you can do it with Citi. I like Citi's cards. And I think I have to admit, I'm excited about the Citi's high-end travel card coming out, if it ever does. I'm optimistic about it. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good too. I just think Citi do a lot of good things, man. I just think people, the people that are in the city, but I think so many people are I won't say so many people because a lot of people think outside of the way we think, but I think a lot of people in this space, they're so stuck on the American Express, Chase, and then Capital One. And
every
then
time
everybody else is so below to them,
Every time I hear someone say that they just don't think Capital One's or Citi's transfer partners are that good, well, then learn, because you're using the same daggone 4 transfer partners that everybody has.
Right.
Let's keep it real, man. You're only going to Japan and Europe on like 4 different programs.
Right.
Flying Blue, Aeroplan, a couple other ones. So American Express only has 1 or 2 partners that you can't get somewhere else. Chase has got Hyatt. Everybody loves Hyatt, which is cool. But, Chase doesn't even have Avianca. So they all have great transfer partners that you can mind-blowing experiences, crazy travels on any of those. But even daggone Wells Fargo, they've only got like 5 partners, but you can still kill it with them 5 partners.
Yeah. You right. Exactly. If you are the person that will, transfer your miles or your points or whatever, out to the transfer, you can definitely kill it with them.
But I'm learning that less people than I thought in our community actually do that.
Right.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm starting to learn, and I feel kind of stupid, but I'm starting to learn that most people are portals, and they're doing a little bit less sophisticated stuff, but they're here to learn. So maybe as we keep doing this, man, they'll next year, 2 years from now, they'll all be telling us how to do it.
Right. Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna get into a couple of these fun questions. We've been here about a little over an hour, so we're gonna get into these fun questions. If you could create your own credit card, what perks would it have?
Oh man, it was the Luke signature card.
It's the Luke signature card. What would the multipliers be, and what would the benefits be?
Now, see, I'm not going to answer it like other people. I'm not going to tell you that it has to have ×5 on everything with a $2 annual fee and lounge access. I'm going to be for real. We're going to do. You're going to pay to play, so we'll get to the annual fee last. But you're going to do, and we're not going to make it crazy. We're going to do four times multipliers on. We're going to do, and here's 4 times on travel, general travel, and gas. Okay, nothing on regular old 1 times on dining, 1 times on groceries, 1 time it's going to be travel and gas. That's going to be your travel and gas, because guess what? You can get no annual fee cards that get all the rest of the stuff. Right. Travel and gas. We're going to have Visa Infinite protections, so you can take those from the CSR or the Venture X, but we got Visa Infinite protections, so you're all covered there. Do I have to pick an issuer?
Nope.
Okay, so but if we can, I'll make everybody mad, and I'll say it's Wells Fargo.
Oh, I'm about to say, you know what? Since
I'll just make it
that. We add that to it.
Okay, we're gonna make it Wells Fargo, so half these dudes won't even consider it. But it's going to give you hotel status, platinum status at Choice Hotels. You're like, what? And high status at Wyndham. Okay. Okay, so we got ×4 on 2 categories. Travel protections. We're going to give you gold status on American Airlines, which nobody does. So
right.
take that off. We're not going to do airline status. We're not going to make it overpowered. We're going to give it a priority pass with the restaurants. Because Vels doesn't have a lounge network, so I can't add anything else to it. So you got priority pass with the restaurants, ×4 on travel, ×4 on gas, really good protections, purchase protections and travel protections. And we're going to do we're not going to do any credits, none, but you're going to pay $400 for that card.
$400. Well, I mean,
$400 for ×4 on travel and transit, and gas 4 times, protections, some hotel status, and it gets no hype because nobody's going to apply for Wells Fargo cards, but everybody that gets it's going to kill it.
Right. You get 4 times on all those categories, you definitely go kill it.
Yeah.
Travel, transit, and gas.
Yeah. And then it's easy to plug in. It's easy to plug in dining and groceries with your other cards.
Right. Yeah. And that's another thing people don't, feel to talk about when they talk about some of these cards is, man, you can get no annual fee cards and also, as an addition to your premium card and just cover in those spots like easily a lot of times.
Yep. Just like the Capital One Duo. I know it gets a lot of hype now, but it's deservedly. It's an easy setup for everybody to run.
Right.
But if you can get approved for them.
Right.
For me, I never even got approved for the Venture X. I product changed to it.
Oh, did you really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't think there was any way I'd get approved for it. Because even though I've been with them since like 2008, I just product changed. I didn't get the sign-up bonus, but guess what? I've done okay. I've done okay with it so far.
I mean, it's a good card. All right, now, Stan the Credit Frog and Chaz Money Menace are doing a live at the exact same time. You have one monitor and you cannot switch it back and forth between their channels. Which one do you watch and why?
I'm going to go with Chad's. This is why. I like Chad. I like when Chad goes off script and gets a little opinionated. And for that, I have to watch it live.
Right.
Stan is information based, and that's not going to change. I can watch that later today.
Right. You might have to go back and look at Stan's again.
Yeah, because I might even have to take notes.
Right.
But with Chad's, I'm going to go testify.
Right. I could agree with that.
Yeah, but I like both of them. I watch all of their stuff, both of them.
Yeah, I can agree with that though. I mean, I can agree with your reasoning though.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with the reasoning. All right, now I'm gonna name 5 content creators, and you have to describe them in one word. Joe Barreto.
Sweet, and not enough sweet. He's not a sweet. He's not sweet feet, but he is a heart of gold. He listen, my wife hadn't stopped talking about him since we got back from New Orleans. Every time he comes on the TV, she goes, that man's so sweet. So sweet. Just nice as can be.
My wife said the same thing. She Joe is such a nice guy.
Or genuine.
Yeah.
Because if I call him sweet, they might think something else.
Yeah.
Because he's not zesty, but he's genuine.
He's not Zesomania, but he's genuine. RJ Financial.
Oh, legit is what comes to mind. Like he is unapologetically does his thing, and everybody recognizes that, and that's why he's blown up. He's blown up lately. He doesn't have a regular channel anymore. He's got a big channel, and it's because he is unapologetically himself, and it works.
Right.
So he's legit.
He's definitely legit.
And he's super cool in person.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, on the very first meetup, I was on the plane with him, but it was funny because when I got on the plane, I'm like, I think that's him, but I wasn't sure. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to come across as, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I'll just see when we get off the plane. But yeah, he's super cool guy, man. Yeah, super cool guy. All right, Anthony Venture.
Potential. I really think Anthony Venture is going to be on TV one day, and I say this because not just because he has maybe a different kind of charisma, but I do believe he's got a different drive and a different ambitiousness than a lot of us. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. I don't know how he's going to do it or what it's going to be, but that dude's going to do it.
I mean, the guy got over 1,000 videos in like 2 years.
He's absolute worker for sure, and he's not afraid to network.
Right.
He goes to anybody. So I say potential. He'll be a big leaguer.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Seesaw Joel.
Oh man, Hermano, man. I don't know if anybody else has said that, but he. As soon as I met Cesar, man, it was he, and I'm sure you say the same thing. He has a way about him. As soon as you meet him, you've known him all your life,
right?
And we all know like one or two people like that, but he's a different cat. Like we all have the military background, and a little bit different ages, but he just has something that connects with you. He's Hermano, man. He's your brother.
It's funny when he was on here. He told me that you were his favorite content creator. Yeah, he said he's been watching you since you were talking about you had the strongest channel on YouTube.
Yeah. A lot of us are a lot alike in certain sectors of life, and it's funny how that happens. But yeah, Cesar's your brother, man.
That's your brother, man, for
Super
real,
dude.
All right, so this is a newer creator, John from John's Art Credit and Travel.
He's the Viking, dude. He's Viking. He's got the ice. He's got the Iron Maiden T-shirts, which where I grew up, everybody wore Iron Maiden T-shirts. He's another guy he's him. Like he's like it's in your face. I got my goatee, my Iron Maiden shirt on, and I'm going to Iceland.
Right.
You can listen to it or not. Yeah. So he's the Viking.
And
he seems like a really high level good person,
right?
Like better than people I'm used to hanging out with,
right? Definitely, you could say another genuine guy, man.
Yeah,
like for sure.
Yeah, he's somebody you want to know,
right?
He's like even if you don't want to ask for, he's like a guy where if he was you're tight with him, you wouldn't have to ask him for anything because he'd already know.
Right.
Because us guys don't ask for nothing.
Right.
But he would already know, and he would, hey man, I took care of that.
Right.
So he's the Viking.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. You got if it was a movie about your life, and I'm gonna put a twist on this, who would play Luke and who would play Luke's wife?
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, here's my question. Luke, older Luke, or does it start when I'm younger? Because it's going to be a different actor.
Okay, let's do both.
Okay, so you're old enough to remember Marky Mark. Marky Mark's going to play me. Marky Mark, the young Marky Mark, is going to play me when I'm younger.
Before Mark Wahlberg.
Yes. And older Russell Crowe will play me now. Like the kind of rounder face, like older Russell, not Gladiator, like after that.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, though. Yeah. The original Gladiator.
And my wife is going to be played by what's Whitney Cummings? The comedian? That'd be my wife.
That's what's up. All right. So you're not gonna have two versions of her? You're just gonna have one version?
No, because I didn't know her when I was younger, so she can't be.
Okay, I got you. I got you. All right, now Lose Points and Miles has a mascot. What would that mascot be?
I heard this question on a different one. My mascot, it's either going. Man, that's tough. It might be a gorilla. Just either a gorilla. That's the best I can come up with. It's a gorilla. It's you remember them pictures on the internet of that chimpanzee that didn't have any hair?
Oh.
Remember that guy? That's what my mascot is. With his balls hanging there. So a naked chimpanzee.
Oh man, you're gonna get banned in 2024. Now, the very last question, man, the hardest question for everybody. where can the people find you on social media? And we already know your channel was Luke's Points and Miles.
Luke's Points and Miles on YouTube. I have a Twitter. I don't use it, but if people DM me there, I answer. I do maintain an Instagram that one day I will post a lot more on. But I do post some stuff on Instagram, a lot of travel pictures and family stuff. But that's it. Just YouTube and Instagram. I normally respond to. I think I have a 99% respond rating on those two things. So and I don't plan to stop that. I like responding to comments. Sometimes it might take me. I'm not bored. I'm a busy guy, so it might take me a little while to respond. But yeah, those two, YouTube and Instagram. You'll never see me on TikTok because I'll never have one. That's it. Try to do the league minimum.
Actually, before we get out of here, I gotta say what's up to my cousin. This is my actual cousin. You know, I might call a lot of people my cousin, but this is my actual blood cousin.
Nice.
But man, before we get out of here, man, you got any last words for everybody?
I can't. It's hard for me to convey how kind of grateful and appreciative I am just to be part of this community. Like I never thought I'd be friends with so many different people and do these kind of cool things just with an internet connection and a phone. So, and I have to say that all you guys, and I know some people say, well, credit card YouTubers are this and that. I'm telling you guys, almost all the dudes I met in this space that make videos are really high level dudes, really high level individuals. And I'm very suspicious about that. There's got to be, maybe I'm in the matrix or something because they are big time dudes. And I'm just happy to know them because, you know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you having me on. So
look, I'm going to tell you, you know what? I just want to piggyback off of that for a second because I think that because, you know, YouTube's it's a large community of whatever. I think that in our kind of area, you know, where we are, there's a lot of genuine guys. So they associate us with some of the scammers that are out there. You know, we just kind of grouped into that bunch because there are people who are, you know, running game and whatever. But I think from the Loose Points and Miles, the Stan, the Credit Fraud, Chaz Money Men, I could just run down a list of people. Yeah. It's just a bunch of people on here trying to give they take on the credit card game and giving you the knowledge that, you know, they think you deserve and having fun while doing it. You know what I mean? So,
I hate to throw it in there, but YouTube is hard, guys. Like just putting your face on here is ask, like a lot of people probably won't say it, but I know some of us guys have been made fun of when we first started our channel.
Oh, for sure.
Because like yeah, you're a YouTube. It's tough putting your face on here. I can tell you right now, every time I upload a video, I got 10 thumbs down in the first 10 minutes. Every single time. So whoever's out there doing that, you know,
that's trash.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so trash.
But YouTube is tough, man. It's a tough game.
Unless you're doing this, you don't understand how tough it is. It's tough to get in front of the camera. It's tough to speak in front of the camera.
Yeah,
you know,
and I would say that no matter, I'm a hard person, but I'm not. I'd be lying if I told you that some of these comments didn't kind of upset me. Like you get some comments once in a while, and you're like, interesting, and it's just part of the game. But it's tough.
It's part of the game. You know, you get comments from people that wouldn't dare to say that if they saw you in real life.
No. Ian, no, it doesn't tell you who does the likes or dislikes.
Right, exactly.
So but my haters are quick. They're subscribers because they get on there as soon as.
As long as they stay on there long enough to give you a view.
Yes, sir. Yep.
That's right. Good. But man, listen. Whether you've been here, first of all, I want to thank Luke for coming on here, man. I knew this was gonna be a good one. Like I really did. I knew this was gonna be a good one. I've been waiting for a while to ask Luke to come on because I wanted to do it somewhat toward the end of the year. And I know that you know you have your son. And I'm figuring December might be bad for you, so I wanted to get you in here.
It's all busy.
Yeah, I knew. I figured December would be bad for you, so I tried to get you now. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on here, man. But if y'all been here for 5 minutes, 15, 30, the whole time, man, We appreciate y'all, and we out.